Okay, there we go. There we go. We had some major technical issues, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first episode of Zcast, where me and Revive Gamer will be talking about zombies. I am hella excited for this, and I hope you guys are too.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Hope you guys have a great day. Let's get right into it, Flamers. Should we start off about what this podcast is gonna be?
Yes, indeed. Let's talk about what this podcast is gonna be about. Do you want to take the honors, or shall I do it?
You can.
Alright. So what this podcast mostly is going to be talking about is the new developments within Call of Duty Zombies, outside project which is related to zombies, like Warzone, which is going to get zombies soon, leaks surrounding zombies. So we will go in depth of seeing what is going on. We're also going to be talking about the new blog post that came out. That's why it took a little bit longer, because we were still like, oh shit, there's a blog post. And also some major technical issues. It's a podcast. It's the first time that we do this stuff. But yeah, we're going to be mostly talking about Call of Duty Zombies. The first episode is just going to be me and Revived, so we can just get into the swing of things. Hope you guys are enjoying our decor we have. Thanks to the beautiful Mr. Choose. Thank you so much, my dude. If you see this, huge shout out to you. And yeah, for the first episode, if you guys did not see it, we are going to be talking about Season 2. We're going to be talking about Outbreak, we're going to be talking about Verdansk, and we're also going to be talking about the newly leaked, unannounced Zombies project. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this podcast. This podcast is live, so don't worry if we are not reacting or something. It's not that this is pre-recorded, but it's more that we're focused on talking, because this is a podcast. We will be going through some comments at some time, but in between breaks, before we go into the next segment. So yeah. Grab yourself a drink, some food, sit down, and relax. And we're going to be talking about some zombies here. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Alright, so do you want to get into Season 2 first, since that just had some major information we just got?
Yes. Season 2. Oh, well, we can talk about that. Don't know if you guys already done the update this morning, but a lot has changed within zombies. And I don't know if you guys actually played a bit of zombies. Revived, have you actually played some zombies this morning?
No, I haven't played zombies yet. I did hop on a little bit last night, but didn't get to play much. But I did hear about the changes, so yeah.
So there has been some large changes in maps like Firebase Sea. Remember that mantle spot where you could just go up and go into the portal? You cannot do it anymore. Yeah. It's patched. Yeah. There's a wall. They turn it around. It's so funny to see it when I was playing this morning.
Did they add like a little ledge or something, like a side ledge, kind of like a Minecraft to like turn the corner and you like that type of thing. It was pretty funny. I saw them like, wow, they really went all out with that. But that's kind of I don't know how I feel about that, but I think they should have just kept it, because it's never a bad thing to have something like that. But I get why they might want to do it, just because it might ruin the certain way they thought the map was going to progress. But I don't know. I kind of like those things in zombies. It creates a different layer in zombies. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the funny bit about it is when you actually try and do it, you actually get stopped by something midair as well. So they put like an extra barrier in between. So, and also the other side, because there were two sides you could go from. You could either do the let's jump upstairs, or you could go around it and then walk over the roof and then do a straight jump. They also patched that. They put a window there.
Oh, yeah.
So they patched both ways. So now you still have to pay the $12.50 or the $15.00. Depends on if you're playing co-op or not.
Yep.
And also, for those who have not played zombies yet, or at least, they have patched the Ray K84 in Firebase Sea.
Oh.
Rest in peace, speedruns.
Flamer, we just got the full patch notes for Firebase Z.
Oh, we actually just did? Might be good to read those.
Yeah, we might, but it's good. At least we might be able to read that. Oh yeah, there's definitely a lot more information in here than there was in the other one.
Just gonna give a few shout outs in the chat here. Welcome Menno, welcome Newbie. How you guys doing? Alright, let's hear those.
Alright. Thank you guys for everyone that's come through. Turbo, Andy, Raffy, Potatoes. Thank you guys for coming through. Alright, so what do you want to go into for like next? What do you want to do?
So
you want to go into this blog or
beforehand, I want to talk a bit more about the patches and the changes alongside Firebase C, which I've noticed actually and actually played for. So the Reiki got nerfed because you cannot reload cancelled anymore. So that's a rip to speedrunners.
Is that the only thing that got nerfed?
No, they nerfed the actual damage to it as well.
The damage, really?
Yeah, they nerfed it by 200 HP.
I heard also though that they made it so Ring of Fire actually does extra damage with it after. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know if
it actually does.
I don't know if that's true. I did notice that mimics die a lot more faster, so they might have patched something with that. We can see that in a moment.
Yeah.
Also, a big change is that they let's just not say nerfed. They buffed the Orda boss fight in both the Easter egg and also the round 30 Orda. I kid you not. I tried it with a triple papped Reiki with that shot, and I could not kill him. He was too powerful. I actually, for the first time ever, saw that animation where he goes up into the sky. I was like, what the hell is going on here? Even the sea lads in the Discord were like, how did you not kill him? Because I was trying with the Death Machine that just got added today as well because of Season 2 to see how much damage it does. And yeah, it's kind of shit against it. So sad. But yeah, those are the most major changes I've seen. Also, they changed the trial systems. So we still have the trial system itself, but you get more rewarded for doing it. Beforehand you got 2 power-ups and maybe a weapon or a perk or a score streak. And now you actually get essence to it. So I've been testing it. Rare quality gives you 1000 essence. Common quality 500. So I guess that's to give back your money from what you paid. Legendary, epic actually gives you 2000 and legendary 3000. And you even get a double points with it, so that's like double of the points you can get. So those are the most changes I've seen in the map today.
Yeah, I also was watching, apparently the Death Machine's not very good against Orda, which is pretty funny. I thought it was going to be pretty good. But
I thought as well.
It's incredibly overpowered in multiplayer, though.
And also against zombies normally, like I'm like, ooh, it's pretty good. It does about 1250 damage to a normal zombie. And then when you go to the Order, it does like 200. You're like, oh, okay. When a Reiki gives like 900. And even it has a tier, like a classified tier. And it's classified as an epic.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Alright, are you ready to read those patch notes?
Alright. Yeah, so do you want to go into the perks first, or do you want to go into...
Sure, go with the perks.
Yeah, let's go with the perks first. Alright, so I'll just like briefly go over some of this. So, they revealed the weapon classes, which is pretty cool. Just increased damage to a lot of the classes, so that's always good to see that they're making the guns even stronger. So Frenzy Guard, this one's pretty cool. I think we should go into. So the 5 tiers. The first tier is activation repairs your armor to full. Enemies you kill repair 10% of your armor at tier 2. At tier 3, normal enemies explode after hitting you. Tier 4, increase duration to 15 seconds. And tier 5, normal enemies are slowed down to walk speed while active, which is basically Undead Man
Walking. Yeah, indeed. So they're bringing back Gobblegums instead. So that's pretty cool. Instead of Gobblegums, we're just gonna get these skill trees.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Frenzy Guard's gonna be a pretty cool one, especially with I wonder what people are gonna use now, because Aether Shroud did get a movement speed upgrades, so people might use that now, honestly, especially for speed runs. I wonder how they're gonna do that because of Ring of Fire's nerf. I wonder if Aether Shroud's movement speed is gonna make it way more viable. We'll have to see. I would hopefully think might be good strategic thing to use. We'll see. But I think that with this, I think they wanted to give it so a lot more field upgrades can be useful rather than just the one or two that people always used, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, do you want to go into the perks now? I think the perks is where it gets really good.
I think the one thing beforehand is that there is one upgrade that got revealed for the melee, which is really interesting how that's gonna work out.
Oh yes, yep.
So I don't know if you guys remember Ethereal Razor from Black Ops 4, but if you were to do a stab animation, you would get health back, and that is returning as a tier 5 skill. So that's going to be interesting to see how it's going to work. Like, how much health do you get back? Can we actually use this in speedrunning for, like, the trials, when you're going for a trials run? So this whole week of zombies is going to be fully different, because there's going to be buffs, but there's also going to be nerfs to some stuff. So we're going to see how we're going to cope with everything. Go ahead.
Alright. So, do you want to get into the perks now?
Yes. Yes, the perks.
Alright, let's do Tombstone first. Let's do Tombstone first. I think this one is definitely interesting for Tier 4 and 5. So, we'll just go into Tier 4 and 5 for this one. Tier 4, respawn near the end of the round instead of the beginning of the round. So, I think that'll be pretty good, because, you know...
That's also a gobble gum, right? In Black Ops 3.
Yeah, that was a gobble gum. I think it was
Impatient. Yeah, Impatient.
Yeah. So... that would be interesting. And I have Tier 5, obviously, this one's going to be really good. Prevent perk decay while down. Tombstone Soda's always lost, so don't lose any of your perks, basically. So yeah, that's going to be pretty good. You're not going to lose any perks, so I think that's really good for Tombstone. I think it'll actually make it useful because you won't lose your perks. So yeah. Alright, I think we're going to go into Jug next. So, at Tier 4... you get reduced armor damage.
Okay.
Which might be pretty good. Tier 5 though is where it gets really interesting, where you get a second life basically, where you get a second, or not a second, but you get another hit on top of your, previous hits. That when basically you're gonna die and a zombie hits you, it'll just put you down to 1 health instead of 0.
Oh.
So you basically get another hit. On
so
top
like Dying
of
Wish.
What you already had. Kinda, yeah, except I don't think you're going to be invincible during that period. You're just going to have an extra hit, basically, which basically means Jug gives you an extra hit, which is always good.
Yeah.
You know, it's a pretty good feature. Now, this one might be my favorite for Speed Cola, because this seems like this could be really cool. Basically, so at Tier 4, right, it's basically Time Slip, which you can repair barriers, and the Mystery Box rolls faster, so that's going to be really good.
It's going to be good for speedruns.
Yes, for benefits. Yes, Magna Collider, this is Flamer. Oh, sorry, I just want to... Yeah, this is the... Yeah, that is Flamer. But, yeah. So, Speed Cola at Tier 5, which I think this is insane, is that you can hit fire and reload while full sprinting at full speed, which I think if that works with the new stamina that we'll go into in a bit, that could be really, really, really...
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, so yeah, that's Speed Cola, which I think is incredible. Basically gives you 2 amazing abilities, which is incredible. Quick Revive, basically at Tier 4, makes it so after you revive someone, you and that teammate are going to basically be zooming. They're going to be zooming across the map for like an extra 5 seconds, which I think is pretty cool.
Alright.
So you don't, you can get down again. And Tier 5 I think is really cool, where basically it gives you self-medication. The gobble gum from BO3, which, if you didn't know, that basically, when you shoot a zombie and kill it, you're basically right back up. You're right back up. And, yeah. So, I think that's pretty cool. A pretty cool twist on that.
That's going to be interesting to see during speedruns, because now we can just, because people were to use in Die Machina, I don't know if you remember that with speedruns, but they were to kill themselves, and then spawn in next round. But what if they could mix that up with the Impatient one from Tombstone? So they could spawn in next round with like the weapon before the end of the round.
Yep. Yes, sir. Okay, now stamina. I think we go to stamina. This one is the one I've been definitely looking forward to, and it didn't seem like it changed much, which I think is good because I think this will be really good.
Okay.
So you can, I know one of my friends, Chuck V107, is gonna like this one. Using equipment, you can use equipment while sprinting. So pretty sure that means that you can
trip mines
sprint with your trip mines, dude, like with the trip mines. Dude.
My man's gonna be zooming.
That one. He's gonna be zooming across.
He's
the
gonna
map,
be
dude,
zooming, my man's.
You hold that tomahawk and just fucking sprint. Oh, dude, that's gonna be fun to see. You can also use monkeys too. I wonder if that's gonna work. How that's if you use a monkey and you're gonna be sprinting too. That's gonna be pretty cool.
You
and
just see somebody. Oh, no.
But I think tier 5 is gonna be really cool. Basically, tier 5 makes people even quicker because there's no sprint cooldown, slowdown. I mean, sprint slowdown. So you're always gonna be moving at maximum speed at all times. So you can just, a limited sprint at max speed, which I think is gonna be really cool with the power of speed cola, where you can basically hit fire and do all that. Plus, be able to use your equipment while sprinting. It's gonna make the whole game just feel a lot quicker, I think, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we got elemental pop now. Let's get into that.
Okay.
Basically, that gets a buff to damage at tier 4 and receives like an electric cherry twist at tier 5. So basically, you get more damage when you get that ability, obviously. And then at tier 5, you basically get electric cherry, which it's pretty cool that they basically add another perk within the perk.
So it's like electric cherry. So where you reload, you get like that element, or is it gonna be like electric burst from Black Ops 4? Like where you have to shoot and it does more damage.
It says here that it's like I think it's like electric cherry, where if you wait until your mag is basically almost done with, it'll deal more damage to the enemies when you're reloading. So, yeah, basically that's how that's gonna work. The more ammo you put in, and then the more damage you're gonna get reload. So you're basically getting electric cherry with elemental pop, which I think it easily makes it a way better perk that you get that ability. Because I mean, electric cherry is a pretty good perk, pretty cool perk in itself. So be able to do that, which I really do like about Cold War, how they're basically making it so other perks are fitting inside these perks. So I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see when we eventually get 8, 9, 10 perks in the game, like we're probably gonna get, and all the upgrades and all the perks within the perks that we're gonna get. I think it's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. All right. Now let's get into Deadshot. Deadshot, basically, so at Deadshot at tier 4, you get a 10% critical damage increase, and at tier 5, you get a headshot hit bonus at tier 5. So you get more crit damage, which is pretty good. And so yeah, it's gonna be good for megatons, assumably. So
is that gonna stack up like with its Deadshot dealer, like in Black Ops 4?
Maybe.
Like the modifier for it.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting when I hear all these perks being added, like the tear skips and the skills for it. I can hear that a lot of Black Ops 4 perks. Time Slip, Ethereal Racer, Electric Burst, and now Deadshot Dealer are increased in it. That's 4 perks already gone from Black Ops 4. And also the Quick Revive thing, that was also in Black Ops 4. So it's interesting to see how they're taking inspiration from Black Ops 4 and using that and putting it into the skills. And I think that's a good thing about Cold War. It's inventing a new way to reuse old stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree. It's pretty cool how they're taking a lot of past decisions and putting into now, which I think is really cool. So
yeah.
All right, now let's get into weapon mods. So they all get tier 5 upgrades. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think they all get tier 5, which means that there's gonna be a lot. Like I think there's gonna be more to actually upgrade in this upcoming update than there was at launch, or at least it might be more difficult, which should definitely increase replayability. I really don't think that anyone's gonna be able to get all this stuff in within like a couple days. I think this is probably gonna be a thing where you're gonna have to really grind out zombies, which I really do like. It's going to give people a way bigger incentive to play the new modes and play the game more, which is going to be pretty cool. But let's go into the tier 4 and 5 quickly for weapon mods. So tier 4 for Napalm Burst makes burned enemies spread their flames to 5 of their normal. Okay, so basically, it'll like increase the radius for your burned effect, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so at tier 4, special enemies can be burned, and then tier 5, um, you'll get spread. So that's pretty cool as well. I
So
don't know if we have tier. Okay, we don't have tier 4 for the rest of the weapon mods, but we do have tier 5. So
okay.
we can go into that.
So for Napalm Burst, I'm just thinking about it since if you're going for Dark Matter, or Dark Ether, sorry, Megatons are classified as as elites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the other ones like the Mimics and the Manglers, those are counted as specialists. So do they think they just mean like Mimics and Manglers or also Megatons?
It says special enemies, so I think the special enemies are referred to as the Manglers and the Mimics
Yeah.
specials. So, and I think that's probably for fire base. So I don't know, maybe those don't get touched. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Since
Okay, so Deadwire.
Yo.
So Deadwire for tier 5 basically, it spreads the stun effects to each special enemies. So basically, I'm pretty sure it's gonna make it so special enemies will get affected more with the stun effects. So that's gonna be interesting.
So that's gonna be like the Black Ops 4 version of Electric Burst, right? Where you reload it and it stunned them.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright.
Alright, so let's go into Cryo Freeze. Basically, okay, so it says Cryo Freeze becomes even more of a tool for getting out of difficult situations, as having that slow effect jump to 5 other enemies can help out a person easily escape a small mob of zombies. So I guess you're going to be able to get more of a slow effect to more zombies than usual. Brain Rot, with 3 turned enemies instead of 1. Oh, we're gonna get
3 turn enemies. Oh boy, my boys are back.
That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be really interesting. All right, now we have the new one, Shatter Blast. This one's interesting.
Yes.
The tier 4 upgrade is 100% increase in effective explosive range, which is phenomenal within packed rooms. And tier 5 turns the weapon mod into an explosive barrage. If this triggers at the front of an approaching mob, it can potentially strip them of their armor and knock all of them down, making them far less of a threat compared to their normal charging nature. So, I guess armored zombies and other zombies will basically, just get basically, stripped of anything that they were, their armor basically. So that's gonna be interesting as well to see that. Basically, it's gonna knock them down too, which will be pretty interesting as well. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I find really weird is how we've heard all these perks right now, but we haven't heard anything about page D, and we're getting so many explosive damage now, as I can hear right now. Like an explosive barrage,
Yeah.
does it do self damage, or how's that gonna work? Do you think?
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Really interesting, to be honest.
Because if you use that in a close quartered area, you will kill yourself, I guess, with that explosion. Because I don't think it's going to be like a light explosion. I think that's going to be like a napalm strike explosion.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's going to be interesting to see tomorrow.
That basically rounds up the blog about perks and the tier 4 and 5 upgrades, which is pretty interesting.
Yes.
We're going to see all that coming tomorrow. So we have the other blog post that just came out, which has a lot of information about. So
okay.
I was thinking, do you want to, like, instead of reading it from top to bottom, do you want me to, like, pick out some information? Because a lot of this is, some of the stuff that we already talked about, but some of this is new. So,
like, can you see what the newest stuff is? What we actually can talk about?
Yeah.
Just do, like, the newest stuff, not, like, the minor stuff.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting, so I want to go into this first. So coming to the game is a bundle locker, which basically it says here that For those looking for easier access to your growing loot collection, you'll be able to access all the bundles you own at the new bundle locker at the weapons menu in any mode and directly from the store. You'll also be able to equip certain items straight from the battle pass, store bundle preview, and bundle locker with the new quick equip feature in Black Ops Cold War. No more sifting through the menus to find your newest items. Now you can equip them with a tap of a button, which I think is pretty
nice.
Cool. So,
that's really good.
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, we're gonna get all the new weapons and stuff like that, new vehicles. There's new lobby music that people should know about. We got new prestiges. There is gonna be, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but they are adding the Easter egg song from Firebase Z into the music player.
Oh, Lost.
Once you get it, Lost. Once you get once you do the Lost song, after you do that, after the update, you'll get that song, which I think is pretty interesting.
Nice.
So you'll get that in the music player in the menu, which I think is pretty interesting. We just talked about that. All right. Let me scroll down to the zombies. There's a lot of interesting thing about zombies. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so like you said earlier about the Reiki, they reduced the fire delay when switching to alternate fire mode. They addressed an issue where the secondary attack would not when hitting manglers directly would not trigger when hitting manglers directly. Okay. So let's see. Addressed an issue where the boss is not properly scaling with the round difficulty, which might be the reason why it felt so easily. Addressed an issue that prevented catching a mimic as a solo player with the essence trap.
Yeah.
Okay, side quest. Increased timeout of reward chest after completing a side quest. Addressed an issue where the upgraded monkey bomb was not killing the appropriate number of enemies. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, because I heard a lot about that people were getting 25 kills up to 50 kills to 100 kills with a monkey bomb to upgrade it. So that's good that they finally addressed that.
Yes, yeah, I agree. Alright, now this I don't exactly know what this means. If anyone can help me out here. So, okay, let's go through these. A couple things first. Added Frenzy Guard to the Zombies Field tab. Added the Reiki 84 to the Zombies Combat Records. And,
nice.
So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now, I don't know what this means. Gunsmith and Zombies will now default to Zombie Camos tab when in Zombies lobby.
Oh, I know what they mean. So instead of going to the multiplayer section of the camos, you go straight to Zombies. So you don't have to press the L1 button on it. Or the L1 to go to the Zombies tab.
Alright. I get that now. Okay. So yeah, and they also go over some of the, they say right here, they closed, obviously, the jump and did a lot of things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see, addressed an issue where the Orta's health bar was not showing on the chopper gunner. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Let's see. They added new intel in Outbreak and Onslaught. There's new intel. Do you guys go through?
They finally they addressed the issue in Onslaught where you could not get the express intel. So me and Newbie were playing this morning and we were able to actually get it. So we finally read it and it has a bunch of interesting info. So that's awesome to finally get.
Yep.
And they're also going to add Apocalypse tomorrow, because that's also right now in the Onslaught tab, but you cannot go in it yet. There is intel for that.
Yes, sir. Yep. Alright, so yeah, about really, the one little thing that I know people like that play multiplayer, I think this will be a little good. There's a point blank challenge for weapon camos, and it says they increase the range for point blank. So I know a lot of my friends that were doing those challenges. Point blank, you literally have to be in the guy's face for it to count.
Yep, I remember that.
That'll help now that you can have a little bit more range. And another thing which I think people are gonna like is the map Cartel. Treyarch actually mowed the lawn with the grass, so basically that means that there's not gonna be any more bushes, so you're gonna have a lot more ease of seeing other players.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. All right, so that wraps up about everything about zombies in the blogs.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Verdansk now, just because that's more season 2 related and things like that?
I
You
guess we
want to
can
go
talk
into
about
that?
Verdansk and then go into Outbreak. So, what do you
Yeah.
think, since the things I have seen over the past few weeks in Verdansk is that some people are getting radio messages, and when you translate them, it sounds like the ship is coming, but there's something aboard it, and then you hear a scream, and then it's over. So we know there's going to be an Outbreak Zombies event inside of Warzone. So do you think that's going to
Yeah.
be connected to it?
Yeah. Also, one more thing I want to go into that Greg just pointed out to me. Thank you,
Oh.
Greg. There's also going to be, for Dead Ops fans, I forgot to say this, is actually pretty interesting.
Oh,
Dead
yes!
Ops fan, there is a first-person mode coming. So
Yes.
if you don't like the third-person perspective of Dead Ops, you're going to be playing in first person in this new mode. So that's a little thing that popped up in the game after the update. So if you guys like that, then yeah, there's going to be that. But yeah, back to your question. I definitely think the new boat coming to Verdansk. A little spoiler, I guess. Apparently, it's gonna crash into Verdansk, which makes sense because I don't know how else it would work unless they made it crash into Verdansk. So that's gonna be in Verdansk, and basically, I think the zombies are gonna come in, which is gonna make it interesting. I don't know how it's gonna work. If there's gonna be just zombies roaming around the map, or if there's gonna be a specific way to activate the zombies, which I don't know how that would work, but I think that'd be interesting to see what happens there. So yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah, because
So yeah,
I don't think it's going to be like the Halloween Warzone event where everybody's going to be AI controlled. Or just that it's going to be normal players. I do think that it's going to be the AI who's going to be zombies. I don't think they're going to be jumping everywhere. But I do have a feeling that we might be seeing some familiar faces in the forms of mimics and megatons inside of the city.
yeah, I do agree. I do
'Cause
definitely agree.
The one thing that is weird about this thing with Warzone and zombies, let's just keep it at that. We're going from the Cold War in the cutscene where we see Adler getting stopped, basically. And then we go to Verdansk, 30 years later. So it's going to be interesting to how that goes. Since there's a storm coming along with it, do you think time travel is involved with it? Or is this going to be an alternate universe?
I think what it is, I'm pretty sure what it is that it's just a separate, like, they're basically two timelines. Like, if you ever watched, like, a TV show where they have two different timelines going on at the same time, it's kind of like that, where this is a whole separate thing going on in Verdansk in the current times, but then we also have the story of Adler and everything happening back in the 80s, which, if you want to go into a little bit of, I guess you could say, theory of what that could mean for the upcoming season, because they do market the season as the beginning of the end, which doesn't make sense for Cold War, but it could definitely make sense for the Warzone side of things, which, if you want to go into, so, if we have zombies in Verdansk, right, I assume that it's going to be that zombies are infiltrating, basically Verdansk is going to turn into a giant outbreak zone, basically, is what I'm going to assume. It's going to turn into an outbreak zone with this new Warzone event. Yeah, I do think that the zombies are going to be on the boat. It's going to be interesting how the boat plays.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. But I definitely do think that it's going to be interesting to see how the game plays now. But one thing that I'm kind of interested in is, what does this mean for the future? Because if you think about it, right, they still have we're going to have in Season 2 the missile silos and all that kind of things. Those are actually going to open up in Verdansk. They're going to be, so you can actually go in there, which we never could before. So it's going to make everything a lot more open. And I think this could definitely make new Easter eggs and things. So we might have a new Easter egg coming in Season 2. And with the event for the Zombies event only lasting about 2 weeks, and I don't think this is a coincidence that it ends the day after Warzone's first anniversary.
Yes.
So I think that's definitely interesting.
That's something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to go into that. Basically, so with zombies, right? And if they're thinking of, okay, well, this is basically Verdansk turned into a giant outbreak zone, and with everything happening in Verdansk already, it's basically chaos. But now with zombies added to the mix, I bet you that they're gonna start thinking, okay, there's this huge outbreak zone, and it's kind of like Resident Evil, where you don't want the zone to spread beyond that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking is what is a very good way to obviously get rid of the zombies, but to pull a die machine and just nuke the map, just nuke that shit, and basically, you know, turn it
Yeah.
into rubble. Which now, basically, a little theory that I did see was that maybe we might hide in the bunkers while we do this, which
Yes.
could explain why maybe we might see Verdansk but blown up, maybe like a different, like basically where Verdansk is basically entirely nuked, and it's like basically a nuked area where maybe we could still play it in Verdansk, but it's completely different and nuked, and maybe we'll have that for a little bit until we get maybe the new map, which might come a little bit later on. We'll see, but that's a little theory. But I think that could transition to season 2 a lot, because it is seem like this is gonna, once the season launches, we're gonna be picking up the pace with Warzone, which I think it definitely needs to pick up the pace now. It's been a long time since it's been out.
Yep.
Same map, same locations. Really doesn't get a lot additions to it. Even when they do add things, it's smaller things. So I wonder how that's gonna work. But yeah.
I think it's gonna be really interesting, since we do know that there was a nuke event gonna happen at some point, right? Then we got this weird cutscene. Even though the nuke event was leaked like months beforehand, we finally got to it basically, and then it's a bust. And I think with the beginning of the end, I think that means that it's the end of Warzone Anniversary 1, as we call it. First year of Warzone, the beginning of year 2. So that's going to be where we're going to go into the Cold War territory. And I do think your theory about the zombies in Verdansk and the nuclear option is going to be the thing that's going to happen. But I do think that because we're in a Cold War setting, I think what's going to happen is, because there's probably going to be something like Ethereum crystals around the map, like a huge ton, and it's going to be an outbreak zone. Once we're going to nuke that, something's going to happen, and we're going to go back in time somehow. Via the use of the dark ether.
As well. I was thinking that maybe either we can use that, we can use dark ether, or they might do some like cool like transition to where it's like suddenly we're just like 30 years in the past, and then we see Adler in getting transported to Verdansk, and like maybe somehow maybe time travel does happen with all the operators. Maybe a breach portal happens with dark ether, and it breaches them back in time to the 80s.
Yes.
And maybe something like that happens where it breaches them back, and that's how they can explain how all the Modern Warfare operators are in this new map.
Yes.
Sorry if you hear that.
No worries.
But, anyways, I think that could work with the Modern Warfare operators and the Cold War operators meeting up again in this area back in the Cold War. This could make it so the Ural Mountains map can make more sense, because something like that, where they can go back into another time, and we could see all the operators going through this rift, and I think it'd be a pretty cool transition into the new map, which I think definitely the game needs right now. But yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with that. But yeah, that's gonna have it for like the Warzone bit, like for Verdansk. Let's go over to the new content that's coming for us zombies players in Outbreak, which I will say, guys, I know there is a way to play it offline, but I was able to play it online today. And there is a way to play it online if you're on PS5, and it's a PS5 only way.
Really?
Yes, there is a way to play it. It is not the full version, though. So it's just an alpha. I played it for 30 minutes with Yuja, because I didn't want to spoil my surprises for tomorrow. But what I've seen was phenomenal. Like, if you don't like spoilers to anything, I would say click this video away right now. Wait 10 minutes and then come back, because I'm about to go in spoiler territory. When we spawned in on Ruka. And I was like, oh wow, we're actually in Ruka. I thought we're gonna be by helicopter. No, you just get dropped in. And you immediately get the choice. Loot or go straight to the objectives. So our objective was that we had to transport a monkey. And it was a really fun one. So we did that, and then we got the option to keep looting or go to the next area or exfil. So that was really interesting to see. When we went to the next map, we went into a transition, like when you go in another map, and then when that happens, you spawn back into the new map with a new objective, but you have your weapons and all your perks. So it's a really fun way how they did this, and they actually incorporated a story in it. There's also a lot of intel to collect, and the new enemies are fantastic. Like, you think Cold War is easy? Wait until you're out on Outbreak tomorrow. Trust me. It's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I kind of want to go through a couple of things that people were saying about Outbreak, some of
Yes?
the issues that they were having. Let me hold up. Let me bring it up. But I've seen some people say that it was underwhelming their first time through, which is going to be interesting because
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's the full thing or not.
They didn't play the full thing. It was the alpha version. It was the build.
Very bare bones.
Yes, it was the build they had from December.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can confirm that.
Because we also heard about world events and things going around the map, and I didn't see anything like that in the alpha gameplay. So
I did one world event. I did one world event. Okay, and you don't see them on the map. You don't. You have to find them yourself.
Really?
Yeah. So stuff like the dragon, that's a world event. You have to find it and then you have to activate it.
Okay, I see.
And these world events give you better loot.
Okay, that makes sense. So some of the issues that people had with Outbreak is that it felt kind of empty with the amount of zombies being in it, which I obviously haven't played, so I can't really say for that myself. People were saying that on solo, it's definitely going to feel different to when you're playing on co-op, which I probably do agree. I feel like this mode's going to be a lot more fun on 4-player, 3-player.
Yes.
So I probably want to go into a co-op first because I really want to see how the game was meant to be played. It seems like this game mode was definitely meant to be played with others. So I'm going to go into that first, because I think that's probably where they wanted people to play. Unlike traditional round-based where you could go solo, but I think this mode is definitely meant to be played with others, or at least how they've designed it. So I'm going to go into that before I go into solo, because I think that's just more fair to them.
Yes.
People are saying that there's not much to do besides trials, and I hope that maybe the amount of side objectives and world events is increased with the update. They can increase the how many there are. It seems like there's not a lot of them, so we'll see if they add more to maybe makes it more of a full experience. But yeah, that's just a couple of things that I've heard so far that people are nitpicking about. Just nitpicking or not, or just just their first experience and see how it is. I'm not gonna say it's good or bad. I haven't played it yet, but I definitely think it has a lot of potential. So we will see how that goes. So yeah.
Indeed. The one thing which I was watching Unpunk this morning, because he said, yo, I'm playing Outbreak early. I'm like, nah, that's not true. And then I was like, oh shit, he's playing it. But the one thing that I saw in his gameplay and compared to my gameplay is he was playing it solo, and it was pretty boring. But it's probably because it's the alpha build of the game. Because the things I noticed is there were less zombies on his screen. And I think that might have been for the alpha testers to see how much zombies they could have put in the map itself before it crashes. And when me and Yuja actually played and we exfilled, a fuck ton of zombies just spawned in. And we were just hauling ass to the exfill. Like, it is no joke, it is hard. Like, the beginning rounds are slow. But then when you go higher and higher, you get these HVTs, you get these special enemies. And when you let me tell you something about these special enemies. So we have 3 special enemies right now. We have the Krasny Soldier, or the Krasny Soldat. So that's basically the Panzer from the Russian sides. Then we have the Tempest, which is some kind of Avogadro.
Yep.
And then we have
there's also another one. I can't remember the name.
The Echoes.
It's a weird name. The Echoes, yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what those are neither. I have not seen them yet, so I don't think they're in the game right now.
Also, it seems like Megatons are in the map, apparently. It seems like they are.
Yes, they are in the map. I was able to kill all the enemies for the calling card in my online game, so I got that one. Megatons are back. They drop, just like in Onslaught, they drop weapons and everything when you kill them. So it's going to be good for you to play and then go for the HVTs, I would say. One thing
Yes, and also another thing too about Onslaught. Sorry for interrupting, but
no problem.
the thing about Onslaught too, is that full power is in the map, which I think
yes,
is cool.
Full powers
cool.
in the map,
full power.
and also the perk drop.
Really cool.
Perk drops are in the map. Like when you kill a HVT, you get the chance of getting a perk power up.
Yep.
So you can get it from that.
GT, yeah. GT says that he likes. I feel like the concept is pretty much the zombies version of Spec Ops, which I guess you could say that, but I think it's gonna be a lot better because it's not. The thing with Spec Ops on why Spec Ops is so plain and boring is because they didn't give a lot of like reason to actually
do
or
it.
any sort of thing to do on the side. It didn't feel like an alive game mode. It felt like a very dead and not much to do. And I think like this mode is that there's actually gonna be the map's gonna feel more alive, hopefully, as we keep going. So it's gonna feel more it's gonna feel more like it's an ever-growing experience around you. It's gonna feel more different, hopefully. We'll hopefully, we hope so. But,
yes,
we will see. I hear people say it feels bare bones, which is fair, but I think it's also a first thing for Treyarch, because people gotta remember this is a first for Treyarch. They've never had to deal with something like this, so I think we have to give them some time. It's not going to be perfect, I don't assume, but we should definitely give them feedback on how to improve it. So let's give them feedback, and, give our thoughts out,
yes,
and see if
indeed,
they can make it better, where, it'd be more fun. I think that's one thing that we have to do with this mode, because I feel like this mode, more than any other mode, can get more updates than ever, and make it so it's an actual experience that grows as time goes on. I think it could be like Warzone, where it gets new areas, new weapons, new bosses, new everything could be added. And
that's what I was thinking.
Mode. I think it could almost be a mode inside of zombies, which I think it could definitely be. I feel like they could add, like kind of like Fireteam, where they can add different modes to this mode. I think different maps and different things like that.
And really I do think we're gonna get more Outbreak maps, since there's more Fireteam maps we can go to. So, because we obviously have that the water one from last season, but now we're gonna go to the new one straight away, the Govola map, Golova or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't actually in Fireteam yet. It's a zombies only thing for now.
For now,
yes. Get added later in the season, but I heard just for now it's going to be zombies, which I think is pretty cool that we can see something in zombies first.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also, let's talk about the implementations of maybe an Easter egg quest. Because there is a new Dark Ops challenge added.
Mm-hmm.
So this might be for like a high round, but there's also the artifacts we can get for this map. And artifacts are mostly associated with Easter eggs inside those maps. So that's going to be interesting to see how it goes, since what I've seen is that people are able to pick up the mystery box bunny.
Oh, really? That's
yes. It's on one of the beds in one of the maps.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's really, really interesting.
So maybe because we have all these breaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we're trying to get rid of all these breaches. Because it's one major outbreak. What if our major objective is to just stop it? And that's what we hear tomorrow from Weaver. That's why it felt like an alpha in the other one. Like, yo, you have to do these objectives, but you also have to do this. Yes?
So it seems like Treyarch just posted something on their YouTube, I've heard.
Oh?
Yes, they did. Season 2 studio broadcast. So I'll probably watch that after the stream is done. But
yes,
they
indeed.
Have a whole broadcast. They did their broadcast. I'm gonna listen to. They may have hinted some things for the future, so we'll see that later on. But
indeed.
They dropped that studio broadcast, so if you guys want to go watch that, it's on their Treyarch YouTube.
Yes.
One thing I did want to go into really quick. I know we're still on Outbreak, but it's also just the future of everything.
Yes.
But there's new intel, and I think it's really interesting because it does one of the new intel does tease East Berlin.
I wanted to talk about that as well. DLC 2.
Yes.
And
so
the fun bit about that.
Outbreak first, if you want, real quick.
No. We can go straight in since we're basically done with Outbreak.
Right.
We just have to wait and see what happens. But still on the side of Outbreak, we had a few of the intels in Firebase C, and I've been grinding today to get them. I cannot get any more, and there's more like 5 to 6 intels on Firebase C left, so it's going to be interesting to see how we get those when they're not in the freaking machine of the trials. But also the Outbreak ones, the first one we had is called Season 2 Part 1. And that was the same for Season 1, where we got first D Machina, and then Season 1 Part 2 was Firebase Z. So we could be looking at another DLC coming at the end of this road. And I do think we could get that, since a lot of the Berlin textures are already in campaign. So they can just take that over, just like Firebase C, and work on that. We don't know how long they've been working on it.
So something that in the intel, if you actually listen to the audio, it's really interesting, because I think this could really be interesting. It kind of could give off a Garage Proby vibe, because the guy, I don't know who speaks in the actual thing,
Dr. Heinrich.
The audio, but yeah, so he actually talks about how they basically, whenever they go into these, like, you know, Firebase Z, it's in Vietnam, and it's in and for D Machine, it's in Poland, right? But these areas are kind of, you know, they're deserted, right? There's not much going on. It's like, it's kind of a deserted wasteland, and obviously for Firebase, you know, it's a thing that Omega use as their outpost site, but it's abandoned, right, basically, for the most part. But it seems like with East Berlin, they're talking about how the Cold War is going on, and this is kind of like the center hub of everything that's going on with the Cold War. So it's going to be interesting. Is this going to feel like Goran Krovi, where there's a lot of things going around the map that are happening at the same time? Is this going to feel more really like, I think this is definitely interesting, because I think this next map could definitely feel a lot different than the other two, just because one thing I've also heard from people is that they want the map to feel more unique. And I think something like Gorak Proby, where the map feels more alive and things are actually going around, and you see all the battles going around, you know, the Cold War and the Cold War, and a lot of things like that. It could be definitely interesting, rather than just an abandoned part of maps and abandoned areas. It could definitely make a different zombies map, which could be pretty interesting.
Yes, indeed. Because also, if you listen to the thing, you hear that we are talking about Valentina again, which we first heard of in D Machina, when you do the pylon Easter egg, where you have to shoot with that wire at the 3 pylons. Then you hear Valentina say a number. And then in Firebase C, we actually see her at the end as one of Kravchenko's leading women around Omega Group. And now we hear that she's leading a group in Berlin, next to HQ of Requiem. So that's going to be interesting to see how those two are going to go along. Is it going to be that we're going to be starting in the Requiem headquarters and then go teleport there? Or do we start in like an all-out war? Because that's where your Goro Trophy comes in. I think we're going to start, like, this is going on right now. Everything is quiet. The moment that the DLC goes down, or when we will see in more intel, I guess, we will see that there's going to be a big fight. Like, Requiem's warehouse is overrun by zombies. Valentina's taking the charge in it. She's somehow able to communicate with them, because it's interesting to see in one of the Firebase C Easter eggs, we do use one of the machines for Sergei's head to actually translate stuff. So we could be looking at something like that.
Yeah, definitely do. I definitely cannot wait. There's a lot of things going around.
Indeed.
The future of zombies, so I think it's going to be really cool to see how everything turns out. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. For the future, I think it's going to be super interesting what the next map is, and I think it definitely, with Outbreak and the new maps coming out, the game's starting to feel a lot more whole. It's starting to feel a lot more of a, you know, actual zombies experience, more full one, especially with everything being free. I think this game is definitely starting to pan out, and I think it's definitely going to probably get better for sure as we go on. Hopefully.
Yes.
So yeah. So what do you want to go into next?
Alright, I think it's time we go into this leak that has been going around for the past few days about a new zombies project.
Yeah. So basically what happened, I'll go over what happened. So about yesterday, I think it was yesterday actually. Yesterday or the day before,
Day before, yeah.
There was actually Tom Henderson, if you guys know who that is. You guys probably should by now if you follow Call of Duty. Um, Basically, he said that there is a let me get the exact tweet up. Let me not let me actually get the full quote out. Let's see exactly.
In the meantime, yo, Chai W Gaming, yo, Mr. Choose, yo, Menno, still being here. Robin Tarantino, you Revive got a fire blanket. Hell yeah, he got that. Cosmical, how you guys doing?
All right. Here we go. So, Tom Henderson says, there is a separate Call of Duty Zombies project in early development that is not connected to any other title. So, let's just go with the first half real quick. There is a separate Call of Duty Zombies project in early development.
Yes.
Now, that screams to me that they just started it. It's early things, which means probably wouldn't come out for probably a few years, which makes sense, if they're just starting on it. But so what do you think of that? That there's another Zombies project coming out. What do you think of that?
It is
there's a separate game.
It is interesting to hear about it. Like, I was totally shocked when I heard it yesterday, knowing how it's gonna be like. Oh, we got Treyarch right now, so who's making this right now? That was the first thing I was thinking of.
Yes.
And then I was thinking,
yep.
Yeah, and then I was thinking, what if Raven is in the lead development of this?
Yeah, true. I mean, but they are heavily working on Warzone. Like, I'm pretty sure they're the ones doing all the things like the Warzone map and all that. So I don't know if they have time for that. What I was thinking, actually, and people might not like this, but I could see it, is that this is Sledgehammer's project. Because
that's also what I was thinking.
Remember, they are working on multiple new projects. They're not just working on one thing. So what if this is secretly something that they just started up as one of their projects? Because we don't know what they're doing for the next COD game, but maybe it doesn't have zombies. Like, I'm kind of thinking it might not. So what if this is what they started working on, which could definitely be interesting, but we'll have to see. But do you want to go on the second part, which I think is definitely gonna, make some discussion? Is it's not connected to anything, so this is going to be a completely new thing. It doesn't seem like it's going to be connected to any other game, so it's not going to be in any other Call of Duty. It's going to be a separate thing, and it's also going to be, it seems like it's not going to be connected to any other thing in the past, which I think is interesting. So it's going to be new.
Yes.
It's going to be a new experience. It's not going to be connected to anything. I'm assuming this means it's not going to be connected to the Dark Aether story, or obviously any other story in the past, which is definitely interesting. It seems like it's kind of a weird thought because it seems like now more than ever they're trying to connect Verdansk and Warzone with zombies, with multiplayer. So it seems kind of weird how they're making something that's completely straying away from that. But I think that's interesting as well. We'll see what happens there. Another thing to add too is that with this, I wonder what what kind of experience it's going to be. Is it going to be a traditional zombies game? Is it going to be something that's like a new kind of open world thing, like kind of like Outbreak is?
So about that, right? In that regards, when they said it was not connected to any Call of Duty prior, I was thinking they could be making this to rival games like Left 4 Dead or Back 4 Blood.
Yeah,
because we know that's coming.
Yeah, kind of like Yeah, kind of like an open world, like kind of more, mission campaign thing.
Yes.
Which definitely could work. But now my one question is, I think that if this does happen eventually, this is literally the perfect reason to what I think everyone has been saying, that zombies needs to have more updates to content. It needs to have more content. It needs to have more frequent updates. It needs to be the center of attention. And with this, it could definitely be that. It could finally get, all its content that people want and all the different things and things like that. Now, the one interesting thing is to note is, would this game be paid or free to play? And the reason why I say that
is the interesting bit.
They definitely have to find a way to monetize the game, right? I think that's definitely, like, Activision, they want money, right? They're not just going to make the game.
We want money.
Indeed. No way to monetize it. Now, what I'm thinking is maybe they go back to something like Gobblegums, which I think they could do. Definitely could happen. But something I was thinking more in the lines of is maybe it could be a paid game, which I think might work as well, because it is a zombies game entirely. It's not just like I don't think it's gonna be like, especially if it's a game where maybe there's a campaign, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, like Left 4 Dead, and then there's also regular round-based zombie maps, which that could be like, it's like basically an all-around zombies game. That just going off of theories and stuff, but
Yes.
I think that's how that could work. And in general, what I think that could mean is that it could be a paid game, but maybe the DLC are free, kind of like now. So at least
Yes.
they have that entry, and then maybe they have some other thing. Maybe they have an item shop and a battle pass like the regular Call of Duties do. They got somebody that can monetize it. But I think this could definitely be cool for zombies, even if I don't think we're gonna get it anytime soon. If this does end up happening, which people gotta remember that things like this get scrapped all the time, so we don't exactly know if this will pan through, but we can hope for the best.
I mean, remember Call of Duty Vietnam, which was supposedly made by Sledgehammer, and that was not true.
Yeah.
Because that got scrapped along the way.
Plants
Because that was
changed
gonna
and
be
stuff,
the next Call of Duty before Cold War came out, and that got scrapped.
Yep.
So, what I'm more thinking along the lines for if this zombie game is real, I think they're gonna do a Modern Warfare remastered, like a Modern Warfare 2 remastered with it. They're gonna shelve it until it's necessary to come out. So they're starting it up right now, working slowly on it, because we 100% will know that Sledgehammer's Call of Duty won't make as much as we think, right? Because it's Sledgehammer games. Sadly, it is the truth. And after that, we're gonna get, then we're gonna get Infinity Ward again, and then Treyarch. But what if the Infinity Ward game, if it's gonna be Modern Warfare 2 or something like that, if that's gonna be a failure, then they can always say, "Hey guys, mid through the season, we got a new game coming. Here you go, pay $30 for it. Here you go play it. It has monetization on it. Oh, here you go, a shop. You can buy stuff on it." So they could use that as a backup plan.
Yep. Okay, a little update with the video. I just saw Charlie Intel tweet out. In the new video, Raven says that the new ship, the new, I don't know, I don't know how to say it, but the new ship will be located between prison and port, and that they're also, interesting, that more bunkers are going to be opening up. So, if you don't know, Flamer, the second bunkers, they're in like Bunker 10, Bunker 11, those could open up.
Yes.
Which could create a lot of different things for the story and the Easter eggs, which I think is very cool because the secondary bunkers might open up, which I think tonight, dude, is going to be a very big night for a lot of game modes. I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. I think COD is really going to get kicked off of this game, and I'm ready. So, yeah.
I mean, it's the beginning of the end.
That's interesting. Yeah, it's the beginning of the end. So, yeah. All right. So, back to you. What were you saying?
Okay, so with this whole thing, they could shelf it. Just keep it around until they need it, like Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. And we do know Modern Warfare 3 Remastered is made already, right?
Yeah, the campaign, yep.
Yeah, the campaign for it is, right. Also the multiplayer, apparently, but we don't know about that. But they could always save it for a rainy day, since they know people want it. And that's actually what they did, which I find really interesting with Modern Warfare. Because in the beginning it didn't do as much money as they thought it would be. And that was until Warzone came out. Remind of that.
Yeah, Warzone definitely helped out Modern Warfare as a whole. Allowed a lot of players that didn't have the full game, they bought the game. I think the same thing's going to happen now with Cold War, with Outbreak, and all these free weekends, or people start buying the game more. I definitely think that this COD, after it's all said and done, might be maybe not the most content, but the content that is the most fulfilling content that we've had, and the most, probably the maybe not the most, but the content that's gonna really be like, wow, it's a lot of content that goes really in depth with the game. So we're gonna have to see how that turns out. But I think that Cold War can be pretty cool.
Yes.
Okay, dude. I think people in my chat are trying to troll me, but I haven't watched the new video of Treyarch yet, but I definitely want to go into that.
We will be watching it soon, guys. We won't be talking about it right now since we're doing a podcast, or else it will just be us.
Yeah.
That will be us right there. But we're just gonna finish this up real soon. Then we're gonna watch it, And maybe we're gonna come back to this next week, Wednesday. Because, yeah, this is gonna be a weekly thing. So, yes.
Every Wednesday around the same time. You
Yep.
know, maybe a little bit earlier, a little bit later. We'll see. But
Depends how everything
next
goes.
Week we're gonna go into. Next week we're definitely going to go into our thoughts about Outbreak, all the things in the game coming up with Warzone, zombies in season 2, and the future for that.
Yes.
If anything else has come out for that, so we'll go into that. But still, with this new season, one thing I'm really looking forward to is how the game, like how the actual meta of zombies will change, because I think that the game might feel completely different to how especially when you have these perks and how you feel and how the game will play, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be very interesting to see how everything comes out and how much we have to grind for.
Yes.
I can't wait personally. It's gonna be great. So yeah.
All right.
Anything else you want to talk about before we
I just want to say one more thing. Like, I'm actually enjoying this podcast. It was a good idea to start this up. Like, I kid you not, guys. We came up with this week. On a freaking Monday.
We were talking about it. Yeah, we were talking about it before, but this week we really decided to get it started.
Yep.
Because I think one thing that, especially for me, is that it's a lot easier for me to do something like this every week. So I give you guys some new content to take in. So I'm gonna be doing this every single week for you guys for right now. This is what's gonna be my content. I think it's gonna be really interesting because I really like talking about zombies, and we're gonna give a lot of our future input. So yeah, it's gonna be really crazy. But yeah. I think I think that we've covered almost everything. I'm trying to think of anything that we need to cover still. Any last minute topics?
No, not really.
I don't know. We'll definitely have a lot more to talk about next week.
Yes.
With everything going on. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good episode.
Indeed, this was a fun episode.
So you know what, Flame? Before we wrap up,
yeah.
If anyone in the chats have anything to ask us, I guess we can go into maybe a couple questions if
yeah.
you guys want to ask us.
Yeah, if you guys have asked questions, go ahead right now. We're gonna give you 5 minutes. In the meantime, I'm just gonna do a little bit of spew of me. So because we are doing this right now, the two of us, but there will be special guests soon, and I already have a few I messaged which will be coming on the show. We will be talking with them about certain stuff. If you guys still have topics you want us to talk about, you can always DM us on our Twitters. They'll probably be down somewhere in the description for me. Revive can put it in his Twitch chat. I think there's also a link there. And also, if this thing about Season 2 has got you really hyped, I just want to say, shameless plug real quick. But tomorrow I'm going to be celebrating my 5-year anniversary on the channel. And I will be gifting away 2 battle passes for Season 2. So if you want that, be there since the beginning, and I will be gifting them through the day.
Yeah, so guys, go check out Flamer also. Flamer's like, he grinds, man. He really does grind, and I think you guys can go check him out on his YouTube. I'll have that linked in a little bit here. You guys can go check him out on YouTube. And so yeah,
thanks,
I think
buddy.
It's gonna be crazy. This podcast is hopefully I really want to keep this podcast going, every single week. We're gonna keep going. I think it's gonna be really fun. So yeah, do you have any questions, Flamer, we can go into? I got one.
I don't really have one. I just have JT who said, "Ayo, Treyarch just teased Victus Chronicles. What the fuck?" So I don't know if that's a troll.
Put that in my chat too.
Okay.
Put that in my chat too. All right. So Menbot115, he puts, "How are you guys doing?" I'm doing good.
Pretty good.
Flamer, how you doing?
Pretty good. I was really excited for today. Also a bit, a bit nervous since I am Dutch, so my words sometimes get mixed up. And I think I did pretty well, or good for now, right? Well, weren't too many grammar errors, so happy with that. And I'm also happy how the layout worked with everything. Like, I kid you not, guys, beforehand, me and Revive were just like, how are we gonna do this again? And we spent like 30 minutes solving everything, and then my YouTube link wouldn't work when I went live. I was like, fuck! Yeah. But it finally worked out, and I had a lot of fun talking about this.
Yep. All right. One more I got right here is Miles says, so what I'm understanding is from our theory earlier that zombies are on the cargo ship causing an outbreak in a war zone Warzone will have to be nuked to stop the outbreak, and due to dimensional outbreaks, the Modern Warfare characters will be sent back in time. That's kind of what we
Yes,
went into
that's what
earlier.
we're thinking.
I think that's right. I think that makes the most logical sense. It makes sense in
Yes.
the story because it'll explain why maybe everywhere we're back in like the real mountains from the 80s and like all that, and might explain everything about that. So
Yeah.
I think that could definitely work with Verdansk.
And also going back to that, is they could always, with that, because Warzone is something you can boot up within Modern Warfare, they can always make the Black Ops characters and the Modern Warfare characters come together for Warzone. But also for multiplayer, if they're gonna get sent back. So we might be seeing them as operators in the near future.
Yes. It's gonna be really
You never know.
to see.
I mean, we also got the Woods one in 2019. Like, Woods in 2019 doesn't make really sense because he will be over the age of 80. But, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they're doing it, but I want to see how it gets. Oh, you know what? One little thing you want to talk about real quick. We haven't really talked about this. What are your quick thoughts about COD 2021 and how it's apparently going to be in the 1950s and going to be essentially World War II thing? You want to just wrap that up? We can do that as the last little thing before we head on.
And it's going to be made by Sledgehammer, right?
Yes, Sledgehammer Games. So, it's a different Sledgehammer Games, way different than their previous studio because they're obviously the previous studio with Michael Condrey and all them. They're not going to be there, so it's going to be it's going to feel like probably a new game. But the thing that I'm most interested in is how are they going to make this game feel different enough from World War II? Because I think at the end of the day, they can make the gameplay feel different and play different, but it might still feel repetitive if we're using the same score streaks, the same guns, the same limited attachments.
I mean,
wonder how they're gonna do that.
What they could do is they could do
see.
something with the Discarded War. I don't know if you know something about that, but there was a time, like you also see it in Cold War, where the Germans were divided, like North and West. So what if they make like a story between the North and the West? That will be interesting.
Yeah. That could be interesting, and especially with the rumor that maybe the World War II actually got into the 50s, so maybe it's like an alternate story dimension. You know,
ooh, so, like Wolfenstein, kinda.
Yeah, maybe they had to build new technologies because of the war not ending anytime soon. Maybe they were like, okay, well, we gotta find out. Maybe they were like convinced that they need to find, bigger weaponry, better weaponry, and different things like that.
Yeah. So I got one more question here. Flamer, what do you think about implementing the custom features from BO4 into Outbreak? I think that would be cool. If we could get Rush inside of Outbreak, I think that would be cool. If you could get Grief inside Outbreak, that would be cool. Turned, even.
That's what I want, dude. Grief inside
Outbreak can be so big.
That could be the most replayable thing. And they probably have to change how it works a little bit, but it could definitely be really cool to see. And they can add this mode has a lot of potential.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting to see where that could go.
Indeed.
But yeah, I think that's about everything we need to talk to this week.
Yes,
last
indeed.
thing, make sure to go check out Flamer. Here, I'll actually link his YouTube right now in my chat. But if you guys want to go check out Flamer,
I will do the same for Revives. You guys check him out. He's an awesome streamer. He cusses a lot, but if it goes to a mega, don't worry about it. He's just playing 2K, right, Revives?
That is right. But, yeah. I think that's about it so far. But I think today was pretty cool. I can't wait for your season 2 tonight.
Yep.
Maybe playing with some of you guys. Also, again, one thing I want to emphasize is if you guys have any topics, you can either add us on Twitter or DM us on Twitter at RevivedgamerHD, and I believe it's XD Flamer.
Yep.
If you guys want to go DM us or add us in some new topics that we can talk about on the show going forward.
And also
have guests that we can talk about.
And also, if you guys want to, my video is gonna be on YouTube. That's why Revive is streaming on Twitch, and I'm on YouTube. You can leave a comment down below in my podcast video, And we could also look at that. So that's an alternative way
Yeah.
to contact me. And I will look at everything, so don't worry.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna be really interesting. We're gonna, any guests are welcome. We're gonna talk about anything going forward, anything to do with zombies or COD in general. We're gonna talk about, and I think it's gonna be great. But thank you guys for coming out. You got any last words, Blamer?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who came here today. Like, we had a few people. This is our first podcast that we set up, and we got over 20 people in total. So that's really awesome when you see. Well, there are always people who have more, but I'm just enjoying myself, and I love making content. And if you guys enjoy that, that makes me happy. So, I'm just going to do my signature sign-off here. So, yeah.
All right, yep.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. And it's your boy, Ninja Flamer, signing out.
See ya.